All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to do something a little different. Think of it like a system diagnostic for our relationships. We're going to pinpoint a really common communication bug, one that causes these endless loops and emotional crashes. And then we're going to install a much-needed software upgrade.
You know that feeling? The one you can't quite put your finger on? It's that sense of confusion, of being emotionally drained, where you feel like you're always just one wrong word away from a total meltdown. It's like you're stuck in a maze and you just can't find the exit.
So that feeling of being totally lost, yeah, that's not an accident. It's a very specific emotional atmosphere, kind of like a thick, disorienting fog. And to really get how it's created, we're going to take a look at a classic example.
Okay, so let's meet Jim and Helen. They're totally in love, things are going great. And one day, Jim suggests they take the next big step and move in together. Now, on the surface, that sounds wonderful, right? It seems like a natural progression. But when Helen says she's not quite ready, this simple request is about to trigger a massive system failure.
And what happens next might feel like total, unpredictable chaos, but it's not. It's actually a super predictable six-step pattern. It's like a flawed feedback loop in the relationship's operating system, and trust me, it's designed to produce one very specific result.
Let's break this down step by step. First, Jim makes a demand, let's live together. Then, Helen shows some resistance. I'm not sure I'm ready. And boom, that's the trigger. Now comes the pressure. Jim starts questioning her love, saying things like, if you weren't so selfish, you'd want this. Then, it escalates to a subtle threat. Well, maybe we should see other people then. Fearing that, Helen gives in. That's compliance. And once this whole process works one time, the system learns. Repetition is pretty much guaranteed.
So you gotta ask, what's actually powering this whole cycle? What keeps it going? Well, it runs on this incredibly potent emotional fuel, a thick, disorienting fog that just clouds everything and makes it almost impossible to see your way out.
Okay, so the F in FOG, that's fear. And we're not just talking about being a little nervous. This is that deep, intense fear of the other person's anger, their disapproval, or, the big one, their abandonment. It's a primal trigger that makes us want to just stop the conflict at any cost.
Next up, the O. That's obligation. You know that heavy feeling? Like you somehow owe them whatever they're asking for? It creates this sense that their happiness is your job, and you're always falling behind.
And the last one, the G, is for guilt. Oh, and this one is the real kicker. Guilt is the master tool here. It's what's used to make you feel like you are a bad, selfish, unloving person just for having your own needs or boundaries. So you put it all together, the fear, the obligation, the guilt, and that's the FOG. It's what keeps you completely trapped. It totally messes with your internal compass, making you feel responsible for how they feel and basically forcing you to give in just to be able to breathe again. All right, so how do we get out of this fog? Well, to do that, we actually have to look inward. It's not just about what they're doing, it's about figuring out why that fog affects us so much. We've got to find our own sensitive buttons.
And here's the really tricky part. A lot of these vulnerabilities, they look like positive traits. I mean, who doesn't want to be a peacekeeper, right? Being responsible, wanting people to like you, those are good things. But in this kind of dynamic, they become the very buttons that get pushed to turn on the FOG and keep that whole cycle spinning.
And this really gets to the heart of it. The real power here isn't in trying to change the other person, because let's be honest, that almost never works. The power comes from learning to manage our own reactions, from learning how to stop letting our buttons get pushed in the first place.
Okay, so it is time for that system upgrade. Let's install some brand new communication protocols. These are simple, but really powerful strategies that are going to break that cycle by introducing something called non-defensive communication and setting some clear, healthy boundaries. See, the old way, our default setting is to get defensive, right? I'm not selfish, how could you say that? But defending yourself, it's literally like throwing gasoline on a fire. It just validates the whole fight. The upgraded protocol is all about non-defensive responses. You acknowledge how they feel, I can see you're upset, without ever agreeing with their version of reality. This starves the cycle of the drama it needs to live.
All right, here's your new toolkit. And I want you to think of these phrases as circuit breakers. They're designed to stop the cycle dead in its tracks. Now, saying something like, "You're absolutely right," might feel weird. But you're not agreeing that you're a bad person. You're just agreeing that they have a right to see things that way. It just completely short-circuits the argument. And never forget the golden rule, JADE. That means no need to justify, argue, defend, or explain your boundary.
So, when you do all this, when you refuse to get lost in that FOG, what happens? Well, you're not just stopping one argument, you're creating this clear space. And in that space, a genuinely healthy, honest relationship has a chance to grow. Or you get the clarity to see that maybe the best upgrade is moving on to a completely different system. The point is, the choice finally becomes yours.